Everyone see it should be Darwin on the screen. Okay, perfect. So I'm just pulling this one up. This one happens to be a referral that's closing in the next few days. Um, so the good news is for people, we used to have to put this reload division in. We're not doing that anymore. It's something that was started kind of before I took over that for reporting purposes, and we're just not using that report anymore. So it's just going to save you a step. So don't even worry about it. So really, the only tab that has to have a referral, anything on there is under the commissions tab. So this happens to be on the buy side. It's anywhere leads corporate, which is what he had on his closing transaction sheet. He had my referral agreement in there that I sent him because it came through our department. Um, so it says ALN corporate on the referral fee, but for those that know, Michigan has a referral source cheat sheet, and it's right in the ASC procedure guide.
Sam,
It's right under
your
what?
screen's really small. I don't know if anybody else is having a hard time seeing it, but
Okay.
the what you're sharing is like just like a portion of
It
your
is.
screen.
Yeah, it is.
We can't really see what's happening on the. It's yeah, it's better, but it's still really hard to read.
Okay. Let me stop sharing and then I'll reshare. Oops, stop sharing. Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
I figured if you're gonna go through the work, we might as well be able to
Right.
see.
Is that better?
Yes, it is.
Okay, perfect. So, under the ASC procedures, referral relocation, there's a link right to the spreadsheet. Um, I've asked them to do the spreadsheet just because there's occasionally times that I have to make a change to it. And so now it's live. So if I do make a change, it's live. Feel free to bookmark this spreadsheet as well for an easy reference sheet. So let me make this a little bit bigger. So the referral sources are all listed in the first column. There's a lot, and there's probably even more out there that aren't on the sheet, but these are just the ones that we see most commonly. So I mentioned on the Darwin page that it was an ALN corporate. So anything that has ALN, it means Anywhere Leads Inc. So that gets paid to Anywhere Leads Inc. So if you go over to the second column, I've put in there exactly the person ID right there. So you can easily just search that 13802 under person ID. It'll pop up the right person and it's entered in there. Um, I've tried to make this as simple as possible. Obviously, there are different things that make it a little bit more difficult. It might not be clear on the referral agreement, which again, just feel free to reach out. I'm always here for questions. The biggest thing is to make sure that this referral commission sell side or list side, depending on what one, this is what generates our the check. So that's why it's super important that this is accurate. There should never be an agent name over here unless they are the broker, individual broker that we are paying. Um, it should always only be a brokerage name or a company name, no agents in there. It's also important if you do have to add something in there, like a new person, you have a mailing address on it. Otherwise, there's not going to be an address that prints on the check, and it just creates a lot of headaches down the road for those of us that are reviewing it and having to reprint checks, um, and preventing your agents from getting paid, which we all know they like to get paid as soon as possible. So, um, does anyone have questions?
I do have a question. I sit in Ohio,
Sure.
so that spreadsheet that wouldn't apply to us, right?
A lot of the payable sources are going to be exactly the same in Ohio as it is in Michigan. They might have some different sources on there, and I believe Diana has a similar cheat sheet because I know that um, I kind of sent her this as a template and had her like add different things on there. I'm not sure if she still has it up to date, but I would reach out to Diana to see if she has an updated one. Um,
Okay, we do have that sheet. It's just as like a PDF, not as a spreadsheet. So I just wanted to make sure it
Okay.
kind of correlates together.
Yeah. I mean, if the same company is sending us both referrals, and we do get the same referrals through most of our regions, we have to pay the same place. So a lot of them are going to be the same. So you can always use our spreadsheet. And if you can't, if it's not popping up for some reason, you can always reach out to Diana or your accounting department and they would know. I know they do a little things a little bit different in Ohio, and same thing with Florida.
So we can expect a similar sheet or work off of that one or reach out to someone for Florida.
Um, I'm not sure how Florida does their referrals, so I would say start with at least, I don't think Cindy goes in and looks at AccountTech, so maybe check with your accounting team or whoever pays the referrals in Florida and see how they want it done. But again, the payable sources should be pretty much the same across the board.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. The only other thing, so for broker to brokers, there's obviously, as you guys know, there are tons of brokers in these, or in Darwin. So I always say like triple check before you add a new person because chances are it's gonna be in there. And we just want to try to prevent having a whole bunch of duplicates. So you can check under CB, like if you're looking for CB Realty, obviously there's gonna be a ton that come up. Um, Double check the address to make sure it's the right address that you need to send it to. There's also like, and if you still don't find it, you can always do Coldwell Banker Realty because a lot of them have been putting in there. I know
Sam,
as I'm adding new ones, I've been trying to spell out the actual brokerage.
that is really what's required. We
Yep.
don't use anything abbreviated. We spell everything out. So it's Coldwell Banker, Schmidt Realtors, or Coldwell Banker, Sutton's Bay. We use Traverse City because really everyone should be in there. They should be in there by now. So if you're not finding one, maybe reach out to the RSC or myself or Sam, and we can find it. But we really want to hesitate adding in duplicates, like you said. And a lot of that's going to be from just not spelling stuff out, making sure there's no additional spaces between that. So just be cautious of when adding.
Yep.
Thanks.
And this actually brought up a good example. So this is what I mean when I say like there shouldn't be an agent name in there at all. So this one was set up to have this Beth Hannigan from Coldwell Banker Realty. So this is going to now print a check that's made out to Beth Hannigan. And that's not what we want because we legally can't pay an agent a referral. We have to pay the brokerage. Um, and that's just, oops, I'll add it and then I'll go in and delete it later. So if you go into that file, it's because they put the agent here, like a first name and last name. So you would just want to delete it and just leave it as Coldwell Banker Realty.
It
And then
actually,
again,
it does. It goes in the company name. We don't
mhm,
add
yep,
the
right here.
agent's name, but we do put it in the company name. And there is job aids on adding these vendors and brokerages, co-broke agents, things like that. There are job aids for each one of those. So please reference those if you do need to add somebody, because there are specific ways to do that so that they do pull up properly so that reports show properly as well. So there are just some idiosyncrasies that are involved in that. So please do check those job aids.
And then for Michigan, I just put little notes in here for our commission specialist. So if you happen to see that I put like reviewed by Relo and then a date, and you have to make changes to something, if you could just let me know so I can go in and review it, that would be awesome because then I can make sure. This happens a lot when on listings, like if the listing goes under contract, but then it falls through, these commission notes transfer over to the new Darwin file. So the notes might not be necessarily accurate, and I may not have reviewed that specific file. So um, I have been trying to put like the ID, I've been trying to copy like this in there just so that I know it was actually this file that I reviewed. Because if it creates a new one, then it's not going to be the same ID number. That's really the only way to get away from that. But um, yeah. Any other questions?
I will say I have put the agent name in there of who gets the
Mhm.
referral, but when you do add the company, it has to be the brokerage. But I sometimes just notate that in the notes of who the agent is, just for quick reference.
Yep. And that can easily, yeah, you can easily, especially for a broker to broker, just say like it goes to, I don't know, Mike Smith or whatever. Um, and because I will actually, because I review, at least for Michigan, I review all the referral checks before Fox sends them out. And I will actually write that right in the memo line for him to write on there to send out. So I just put like RA, which is referring agent, and then I put their name because it helps the other broker on the receiving end know exactly what they need to do with that check. Because I'm sure we've all been in that boat where you receive a check in the mail and you're like, I don't know what this is. So,
Great. Any other questions from anybody? Or any
Um,
other tips and tricks that you guys have come across along the way?
I have a question, probably more for you, Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
When we're putting the client name in, do we just make the source be Relo office generated or I
Yeah.
always I struggle a little on that
Yeah,
one.
Sam, if you want to cover that, there is an option for that. Also, if you would like a different drop down added, if there's some other referral brand or location or anything like that, we can add that in the drop down. So let us know if you would like a different type because that stuff is required for somebody that we represent to keep it off your dashboard.
yep. And that's what I've been seeing a lot lately is just if there's a referral, just marking, I'll go into this buyer. So right over here for the source, there's Relo right in there. There's also other relocation companies. So if you're not quite sure, broker to brokers, there's outside broker referral. Um, if it seems to be a personal referral, which I mean, some of them are going to be the same. But yeah, something that leads to like referrals, because I go through, at least for our Michigan offices, and every Friday I kind of look at what's gone pending the previous week, just to see if there's any referrals out there that might have gotten missed, and just make sure that they're in there. And that also helps me because if I quick look at the people and I double check that against our e-relocation system, if I see that there's relo in there, that kind of is an extra attention kind of red flag for me that, oh, this might be one of mine that maybe I didn't get notified on or the agent didn't notify me. Ideally, the agent is the one telling me that, hey, my referral is pending, but that tends to get missed a little bit. So,
So
I've got a
mostly it
question for
would
you,
just be
Sam.
Relo or personal
yep,
Oh,
or
go.
outside broker to
or
broker or
outside broker.
outside broker referral, I think is what it says. But,
Okay.
yep.
Sam, what if we accidentally label that wrong as far as what type of reload it is? Because I think I went through this um, a few weeks ago about not being able to change that once it's put in. Remember that, Jessica? How we had that error. So what if we label it the wrong kind of reload?
Which one are you referring to, Dawn?
Wasn't it the reload that remember something happened with one of my agents? It got labeled wrong. Someone went in and changed it, and then it messed up your system because we had to go back in and do something to it.
I think that was accounting code and type codes because you can't change those.
You are correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is totally different. So if we
Yeah,
mess
this is
this
the
up
source.
somehow,
Yeah, this is where like where their source comes from. So again,
right.
I use personal referral all the time for just when you're residential sales, I put in when I put a buyer in, it's personal referral. That agent brought the buyer. Since this was kind of, I mean, referrals can be broker to broker, but if it was a referral from Sam, then you can put relo.
So
Okay, so this one
that would
isn't
be
as hard to change back if as long as it grabs
Correct. You
Sam's
can update
attention.
this one. Yeah.
Right,
But
okay,
any accounting code, type code, those cannot be changed. They have to actually have a new property record
right,
to change those. Correct.
right.
Very
Okay.
good point, though.
All right, thank you.
Mhm. Anything else? Anything else, Sam, that you wanted to add?
I don't think so. I kind of made myself a list of checkpoints, but again, for like especially for our Michigan ASCs, feel free to just go ahead and send me it and I will put it in for you. I know Amy and Dawn, I'm just calling them out because they're at the top of my screen. They're great about doing that. And I mean, and like I said, either a Google chat, I'm pretty active with that. Otherwise, just a quick email. And all I need really is the address and the agent, and then just let me know that there's a referral on it. Because I can go into their dot loop and make sure that I have what I need. And you may get a response back like, hey, the referral agreement's missing this. Can you follow up with the agent?
And
But
Sam, will you see when those close? Like, we don't need to tell you when they've closed or any of that. Does it just come through on
no,
your?
I'm kind of addicted to spreadsheets, so I keep my own spreadsheets of all the pending referrals and when they're supposed to close. So I just kind of keep an eye out for it, and then I kind of go back into the. I know Sherry will send me a quick note that says one closed, and that just lets me know that the closing document's in there. Otherwise, I'm going back into Dotloop quite a few times to try to look for the closing document. So if it crosses your mind, let me know. You can. Otherwise, I'll figure it out.
You always do, Sam.
I try.
Read information. I know as admins, we don't do a ton of these. Most of us don't. We do them very few and far between. So of course, anytime you get one, reach out to Sam. She does these all day long. So any questions, just reach out and she can assist. That's all I have. If everyone else is good.
Thanks, Sam. My
Thanks,
agents
Sam.
appreciate all the referrals, so.
Yeah, you're welcome. Happy to help. That's what I'm here for.
Thank you.